How you doing, everybody? And welcome to the first ever episode of Dave's Dinners. I'm your host, Dave, and for dinner tonight we are having a courgette and mozzarella pasta bake. And so here we have everything we're going to need for today's dinner. We have one beautiful courgette here, or you might call this a zucchini. I don't really know why, because this is a courgette. We also have 3 garlic cloves. You can have as many garlic cloves as you like. We quite like garlic cloves, so you might want to have just the one, but I'm just going for 3 because it's like half a bulb. Mozzarella, a ball of mozzarella, because you want to like rip it up and stuff. And then we want some parmesan, just for a lovely bit of parmesan action. We've also got some double cream. I say some, I'm not really being too specific about it. I've got about half a pot of cream there, so give or take about 75 ml. I also forgot to mention that this recipe is for 2 growing adults. So we have here 260 grams of dried pasta. This is gluten-free pasta as well, by the way, because Becky's a celiac and she can't eat gluten. And you may be thinking that's an awful lot of pasta for 2 people, but saying that, there's not a lot else going in it, so compensate that with a bit more pasta. So that's pretty much all the ingredients. You're also going to need an oven-proof dish, which I have there, some sort of frying pan. I'm using a saute pan just because I like this pan. You need to cook the pasta in something, so a saucepan with some water in it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to slice up the courgette, not the zucchini, the courgette. And what we're actually trying to do with this is we're trying to basically turn it into like a courgette mush. So the easiest way to do that is to slice it quite thin, otherwise you'll be here for hours trying to cook your courgettes. We also need to preheat the oven as well, because this has got to be baked in the oven as it is a pasta bake. This is a fan assisted oven, electric fan assisted oven. I'm kind of just going to stick it on around about 190, actually no, maybe about 180. You don't want it too high, because if you have it too high then it just sort of burns it, and if you have it too low it takes too long to cook. So kind of, yeah, around about 180 will do the job. And then excuse our hob, it hasn't been cleaned for a while, so it's a little bit messy, but that's fine. It gives you a more sort of normal person perspective, I guess. So get the water on the go. You need to get that boiling for the pasta. But meanwhile, this is the most time-consuming bit. You want to put a little bit of oil in your pan, and you don't want it blazing hot, just kind of a nice sort of medium temperature. Heat the oil up a little bit, and then we'll start cooking the courgettes. So now that oil's kind of spread out a bit, don't drop your pan. Just lob the courgettes in there, lovely jubbly, and then get some sort of stirring utensil just to kind of move it around a little bit. You don't want it to sit there for too long and start to fry. You just want it to kind of soften down into a mush. So just do whatever you need to do to keep it moving every now and again. So while that's cooking, I'm just gonna chop up this garlic. This is a garlic crusher. Well, it's probably an anything crusher, to be honest, but we use this for crushing garlic. I think I bought it on eBay for like a tenner or something, but it is the best thing in the world for crushing garlic, especially if you like garlic a lot. We use it a lot. But you basically put a clove in there, or 2, or however many you can stuff in there, and then it crushes it out these little holes, and it's amazing. So much easier than using a knife. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, and then just scrape off the excess. So I'm going to drain this bag of mozzarella so it's ready, and these are like full of juice or like water or something, so I just stab a hole in it with a knife, get all the juice out, and then that's ready to go. I'm afraid I neglected the courgettes for a moment there while I was showing you how to crush your garlic, but you can see it's gone a little bit brown. That's what you don't want. You just want it to like soften up. You can give it some persuasion by kind of crushing it a bit, just to try and speed it up. But it does take a while. Alright, so this wasn't planned at all, but we had a spare leek in the fridge, so I thought we might as well chuck a leek in it as well. But this just goes to show how versatile this dish could really be. Just kind of, oh, drop your leek all over the floor and then it's ready for the pan. But just chop these up into, I don't know, just kind of chunks. Something like that. Just give it a bit. So leek's going in. Just add them now. And then, cool, that's a half bit. Just keep it a stirring. That is looking pretty mushy. The leeks have broken down a bit. And I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to put the pasta on. Another thing to be wary of with gluten-free pasta is it's very sticky. Especially in the early stages of cooking, you need to keep it moving. I think that's pretty much ready for the garlic now. You only want to add the garlic in right at the end because it cooks very quickly and you don't want to overdo it. So in goes the garlic, and then just stir this through over a low heat for maybe like a minute or something, just so the smell of garlic really comes out. So that's looking pretty good. That's smelling pretty good. So I think now I'm going to put all the cream in there, and I'm going to shred up the mozzarella ball and put that in there as well and just stir it. I don't really want to cook it, it's more just to combine it, and then when the pasta's ready we can just put it all in together and that's ready for the oven. So in goes the cream, double cream, about 75ml, something like that. I think the real key to cooking is to just give it a little bit of love, a bit of flair. Don't worry too much about what you're doing and getting the ingredients spot on for measurements. Just kind of go with what you like. If you want more garlic, put more garlic in. If you want a leek, chuck a leek in. Just kind of have a bit of fun with it really, I suppose. And then over a very low heat, just kind of give it a little stir up. You really don't want to be cooking it because you don't want the cream to like curdle or anything. So it might even be worth just taking it off the heat for now. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn the hob off. Oh, I forgot to put the parmesan in. Parmesan is often used for sprinkling over the top of dinners, and I am going to do that, but I also like parmesan, so I'm going to put a bit in there. Ah, lovely jubbly. Look how lovely and creamy that's looking now. And just imagine when that's in the oven, all of that cheese is going to go all gloopy and lovely jubbly. You don't want to cook your pasta entirely. You want to leave it slightly undercooked because it will cook more in the oven anyway. So I think that's probably about right. It's kind of nearly cooked. So I'll just drain the pasta and then I'll just whack it in with the rest of it. Right, now that is a lovely courgette-y, leeky, mozzarella-y, cheesy mess. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more parmesan on the top, just so it kind of goes a bit crispy. So now guys, that's ready for the oven. I'm going to stick it in there for around about 20 minutes, but I'm just going to keep an eye on it. And once it starts going a light brown on the top, I'll know it's pretty much ready to go. It's actually already cooked anyway, so you could eat that as it is. It's just a case of putting it in the oven to give it like a little bit of crisp on the top. So in it goes. 20 minutes. So it's been exactly 20 minutes in the oven and it's got a lovely crisp to it, as you can see. Slightly brown on the top, not burnt, and it smells incredible. So I'm going to dish this up so that I can eat it because I am starving Marvin. Oh, look at that. Look at that cheese. Ooh. It smells so garlicky and so cheesy. Ooh. Now that dish is going to take a little bit of a soak in, so let's get that in the sink. But there you go guys. One lovely courgette, mozzarella and leek pasta bake. So that's all for this week guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you have. and subscribe down below. But make sure you come back next week for more Dave's Dinners.